welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Okay, today we're doing a little bit of grammar. I promise it's not going to be too long and it's not going to be too complicated. We are looking at two words which we normally find quite complicated in terms of when we employ them when we're writing and speaking. These two words are era and fue. Because I'm going to break them down today, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll get a clearer understanding about when you use both words. Okay, so the first word is era. Era is the imperfect of the verb ser. Okay, so the verb ser, to be. Okay, it's the imperfect. When do we use the imperfect? We used the imperfect to talk about events we used to do back in the past. We don't do it now in the present, but then at some time in the past, we are not quite sure the exact moment that that action stopped happening. So for example, I used to walk to school. When I was younger, I used to walk to school. That would be the imperfect, because obviously I'm no longer little and I no longer go to school. So we know that I used to do it, I stopped doing it because that period passed. But I can't tell you exactly what point, what year, what day I stopped walking to school. That is the imperfect. Okay? Right. So it tells you when the action took place in general. You know it was when I was little, but you don't know the day or the year. The action is not completed. Okay? I used to walk to school. Okay? It's not that I walked one day and then the next day I didn't. It was over a period of time. Okay? It also tells you about how a person used to be, or how something was. So, what was your mom like back then? Okay, back then, it's really not that clear. You know it's in the past. Back then is obviously in the past, but we don't know what moment. Well, back then she was, okay, era muy delgada y muy simpática. Era, okay, era. She used to be thin and nice. Era muy delgada y muy simpática. Do you see? Right. And era is obviously the first person and the third person. So era, I was, or he or she was. Él era or ella era. Okay? Right. We also use it when we want to talk about, okay, that goes over here. Okay, I think that is it. Okay? So to talk about how things used to be or how a person was in the past. Okay? Right, so fue is what the Spanish version of our past simple. So el pretérito indefinido, okay? And this is where I think it becomes a little bit confusing for us, because the conjugation in this tense is the same for the verb ser. So fue also comes from ser, okay? But also it's the same conjugation in the past simple, en el pretérito indefinido, for the verb ir. So the verb go is also translated the same way. So if I wanted to say, I went, you went, he went, you would use the same conjugation. Él se fue ayer, he went yesterday. So it's the same. I mean, it's easy for you, it's easier for you when you're learning your tenses, because you're killing two birds with one stone here. But then when it comes to translating to the past, it's a little bit complicated because we get them mixed up. Okay, so when do you use the fue? Okay, you use the fue when you want to show the exact moment something happened, okay? So when you are using time phrases like last year or yesterday, ayer, fue. Okay, el año pasado fue. Okay, right. So when the action is completed. Okay, another important fact is that it narrates. Okay, so it narrates and tells you how something happened in the past. Okay? How was it? How did it happen? Okay? It talks about events. And by events, I mean conciertos, los concerts, trips, viaje, dinner, una cena, match, un partido de fútbol, un partido de hockey, un partido de baloncesto. Okay? So, el concierto fue genial. Okay? The concert was great. That's what happened. El viaje, the trip, el viaje fue desastroso. It was a disaster. Okay? Dinner, la cena fue maravillosa. Okay? The match, el partido de fútbol fue impresionante. It was amazing. Okay? So it talks about how an event was. How was it? Okay? Fue maravilloso. Fue muy aburrido. Okay? Great. So fue is the third person, and yes, this question, ¿qué tal fue el viaje? Fue inolvidable. Okay? If I want to know how something was, how did it go, how did the event go, how did the activity go, we would then employ fue. Okay? Right. A lot of times you will hear it when we're talking about the identity of someone as well. If you want to find out the identity of someone, who did something, who did the crime, ¿quién fue? Okay? Fue el chico alto. Okay? It was the tall boy. ¿Quién fue? Who was it? It was him. Fue él. Él lo hizo. Okay? He did it. Okay, in that way you can also employ that. ¿Quién fue? Fue él. Okay? I hope that's helped you just a bit. But before you go, to make sure you do have a better understanding of when to employ fue and era, I've given you some sentences, 5 simple sentences for you to correct. Okay? So you have a space for you to fill in with either era or fue. Tu fiesta divertida. Was it fue o era? Number 2. La casa de mamá vieja. Would it put era o fue? Cuando joven guapo. Fue o era? Which space do you put each word in? Or do you put the same word in both places? Work it out, fill it out, and let me know down below. Okay, or send me a message. El verano pasado, last summer, el verano pasado, difícil. Okay, difícil. Okay, number 5, la novia, preciosa, pero la boda, aburrida. Okay, so let me know what word you would put in each of these spaces. Okay? Era o fue. I hope that I've clearly explained what and why and for what reason you use these 2 words, when and how, rather. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to let me know down below, and I will try to clarify that as soon as I can. Okay? So with that, I'm going to leave you, and until next time, os dejo. Adiós, chicos. Adiós.